What is going on, everyone? And welcome to the John Squared Game Show, episode 38. My name is John Townsend. Joining me is John Rayfield. John, it feels like it's been a month since we've done this, but it's been about
It's
two
been
weeks.
2 weeks. That's it.
How we feeling?
Feeling good. Nice break. Not like we didn't do anything, but
Yeah.
it's a
So
nice.
we've been we're aware that we needed to change some things up, and we have been changing some things up. Obviously, have not been live. Um, but we have recorded some gameplay and we've created a schedule moving forward. So, what that's going to look like is the podcast is going to be dropping on Monday mornings now. Then Tuesdays we are going to have whatever video series. We'll be announcing that on our Twitter at John Squared Pod. Uh, we'll have we'll have four different series throughout the month, and that'll be every Tuesday. And then we are going to have a gameplay video coming every Friday. And the first one came yesterday for people listening to this. It'll be up on YouTube. It is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands gameplay, just early gameplay, so no spoilers or anything like that. So go check that out if you guys are interested in that. But then we're gonna look to keep that schedule kind of going, and so we're putting out three different videos a week. Uh, yeah, we're excited about it. Some of the videos that
Yeah.
we have a Game Pass roulette type of deal. We're gonna do retro like PlayStation 2 games. So yeah, keep a lookout for that. John, this is just gonna be a mini podcast just because we are gonna have a full one dropping next week, but obviously there was big news that came, or kind of big news, I guess. It after they announced it, it seemed a lot smaller and not as big of a deal as we thought it was going to be at first. But before we get into that, let's talk about, since it's been 2 weeks, what games we've
Yeah.
been playing.
I feel like I've actually played a few. I think most of them played with you though.
Okay.
Run down the list. We played Fortnite. We played Tiny
For
Tina's.
the first time ever, I played Fortnite on a console.
Yeah. And we swept 7-0.
Yeah, I
Come
mean,
see us.
mostly against bots, but
Nope.
we're
Nope. No,
gonna
no, no, no. You leave that
we're
part out.
no, no, because I'm excited to actually get into it. I'm excited to learn the ropes and face a lot more real people, and
I
then
was gonna
whoop
say,
their
I think
ass.
towards round 6 or 7 we started getting real people, but they still couldn't
Yeah,
hang. Uh what else? Dun, dun. Ghost of Tsushima,
Legends.
Legends.
Yeah,
Yeah, gotta specify. Um, a little bit more Forbidden West.
you haven't finished that
Uh,
yet.
no, I got caught up in too much other shit.
You lacking, bro.
Um, all right, well let's relax. I still haven't gotten the ending spoiled, which is sick. Shout
Mm,
out to the
nice,
internet. I mean, that's the only
nice.
good thing about Elden Ring coming out, right? Is that no one's
Yeah,
talking about Forbidden West.
no one's talking about that game anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately for it. Fortunately for me. What else? Halo. I played a couple rounds of Halo, but I'm over
N-
it.
not with us, because I have not played that game in two
No,
weeks.
I had an urge the other day, so I
Hmm.
played like 2 rounds, and I was like, I just be using my time for other things.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because I when that game came out, I in my head I saw it being the game, my games as a service game, my multiplayer game of choice for the next couple years, and it has kind of fizzled out. Um, Obviously until season two, and hopefully we get some. I believe the developers are saying we are going to get news. By time this comes out, probably have already heard some, but
I
yeah, I'm
saw
looking forward to that.
someone did one of those things where they copied all the information from 343's Twitter account. It was like a joke account, and they said that they were
No.
announcing that the season 2 is getting delayed until June, like the end of June, and I
Dude,
was like, I like
that
honestly, I wouldn't doubt it. Like if that was real, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
that would be terrible. That would be like,
Yeah.
if we're talking like worst case, like it would literally kill the game, I think. I think it would completely
Oh
kill it.
yeah.
It's
I mean, the
already
game's already
like
basically dead.
it's close to it at least. Um but
Definitely
yeah,
on life support.
it left us searching for other games to look that we were trying Ghost of Tsushima
Okay.
Legends. I mean, we have already played it, but our group of friends who play multiplayer games, we're playing Fortnite.
I'm
Um,
just glad that now I have someone else on my side with Fortnite,
yeah,
and
so
maybe
the no build
can
mode has been his was sick, dude. It was nice getting like introduced and I think that when I get comfortable with the gunplay and stuff, I might try out the build mode just to see what it's all like what the OG
yeah.
Fortnite is. But dude, I was having fun.
Hell yeah.
Um although I was looking for something to buy, there was nothing in the store just yet. I feel like I missed out on a lot of the ones that I wanted to get, like Kratos, Aloy, Master Chief. I A lot of those I really would have I would have purchased on Friday night when we were playing, but obviously they're only available for a limited time. So yeah, I don't know. See, it's been so long. I don't know. I finished Horizon Forbidden West. I platinumed it, um, and then I started Elden Ring, and I've been playing a shit ton of that game. I'm like 75 hours in. Um, and dude, I cannot believe I went into it expecting to dip out within 10 hours, maybe even less. um, I thought because every other Souls game that I've ever tried, I have given up because it just has not been fun for me. This game is different. It's the
Yeah.
open world nature of it. The I'm getting my ass kicked, so I'm gonna bounce and I'm gonna go look for another cave or I'm gonna go farm souls from the opening area, um, where you're stealth taking people out and just leveling up that way. That has been really fun for me, and I I just get lost in it. Like there's been very few games that have kept me from sacrificing sleep to play. And this has been a game where I will catch myself staying up till midnight when I have work the
Jeez.
next morning. Yeah, I just get you get lost in it. You get completely lost. You're doing all you're like in this world trying to beat a boss and for me I finally like what other people have been saying about Souls games this whole time was like the addictive nature of oh like I'm learning the boss's patterns and I know that I can do this as long because I'm learning. And I sent you guys a video. I sent the group chat a video of one of the sentinels that I learned his attacks, and so he was cooking me, dude. It took me like maybe 25 minutes of just dying, retrying, and then I got to the
See, I
point
wouldn't be
where
able to do that.
I learned everything, and then I killed it. And then the video that I sent to you guys, I didn't get hit once because I knew every time
Yeah.
when he pushed it that he did this move, and then the lightning was coming. I knew he does this, and then like a split second later, I had to dodge. I couldn't dodge as he's doing this. He had to do this, and then a split second later, dodge. It was all of those things, and it has been completely addicting. I will say that I am kind of hitting a point where I'm getting towards the end of the game, I think. But the the grind has started to become a little fatiguing for me, and that's not like I don't think it's the game's fault necessarily. I think it's just my like I can only play so much of a game and get my ass kicked for so long.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a little bit too long or too big. I just set myself up for that. But
Pause.
the game is massive. It is, and once you think that it's big, it just keeps getting bigger. Like it's another biome or another part of the world opens up, and it just keeps going and going and going. And I mean, obviously, if anyone's listened to an Elden Ring review, this is like what they've been saying. So this is nothing new, but this is just for me. It's been really exciting to be able to play a Souls game that I actually really enjoyed, and I don't know, and I don't think that this is going to get me to go back and play other Souls games. But when the next Elden Ring game comes out, the next open world from software game, I'm definitely going to be hyped and excited for it. But
So, There was
it,
actually a rumor, and I guess this plays into. I mean, this is a gaming show that PlayStation was looking to acquire FromSoft. I
um
don't know if it actually happens, but
that has
that would be
been
wild.
a like a rumor for a while. I think it's just
Well, the thing now is like now that PlayStation has studios that release straight on PC, there's one less barrier for them because like all they'd be losing is Xbox.
yeah, so I mean it- they are I now I can't see it happening just because of the success of
Hmm.
Elden Ring. It is I mean it is like up there with Skyrim and like not GTA is on a fucking other stratosphere, but it's up there with all these big AAA games that I mean it's selling faster than Skyrim. I mean they had a press release come out and I mean it was like 12 million copies in less than a month, which is I mean more than any of the Souls games. I think
It's a
the
game that
first 3 Souls games combined were like 25 million and this is like halved it in a month. So,
this broke past in like niche and like niche.
I wouldn't correct you
Sure.
either way, but yeah.
Okay. I think it's broken past that. Like, it's one of those ones that I definitely don't think I'm gonna play it. I don't think I can play it. I think I'll get bored or frustrated way too quick. But watching other people play it is fun.
Yeah, who
Like,
like know
I
what they're
watched,
doing.
well, kinda. I watched these two guys on Smash play it for like 20 minutes, and like obviously they're a comedy channel, but like it was funny to watch. Like that sort of stuff I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
watching someone like
Watching
seriously play it for hours.
other people suffering so it's a lot better than
Yeah,
suffering yourself.
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, now I feel like this jumps the price. Adds value to From Software, where it was before this game a lot more niche. And I think that one of the main reasons that Sony was kind of linked to them is because they made an exclusive game for PlayStation and Bloodborne, and a lot of
Yeah.
people regard that as the best From Software game. But yeah, I don't know. It could, it still could happen, but um, yeah,
It would be massive now.
yes, yeah, for sure.
It'd be
Um,
big before, but now it's, obviously
yeah,
another level.
right. And another thing that makes Sony another kind of viable option, I guess, is that in the press release where they were talking about the units that they sold, they were talking about wanting to expand Elden Ring past just video games. And a lot of times when uh, studios have been acquired by Sony, especially like more recently with Bungie, they have been talking.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we're looking to push our IP past just video games, and so I mean, it
There's already a rumor that George R. R. Martin is starting to write a script for an Elden Ring show.
and that would be sick. That would be really fucking cool.
I mean, the dude wrote Game of Thrones, so I'd watch it
Right.
just for like that reason.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, other than I mean, that really is all I've been playing. It's been kind of nuts. Like we had a Tunic surprise release, which was a game I've been looking forward to for a couple years, and I haven't even given that a shot yet. I probably will
Yeah.
record that for some gameplay or something. But yeah, that has been just soaking up all of my time. One thing I'm gonna say, I still do want to record a Forbidden West spoiler cast. Um, but one thing I really want from that game is a new game plus. I want to be able to start with all my shit and then go through the story again. That would be really cool. Um,
I thought they had it. Do they not?
no, no, and they added it late in Zero Dawn, so it's gonna come
Yeah.
eventually. Um, but yeah. So and then obviously we were talking about Fortnite, so I've been playing that too. But all right, enough about that. Let's get into the PlayStation Plus news that we had this week. So I'm gonna try to make this as least confusing as possible for people. I know, like, a lot of times, I think a lot of people on Twitter or who are super like involved with games, they'll look at something like the Xbox the names of the consoles where you have like the One S, the One
Yeah.
X, the Series S. And for me, it's like I know because I'm so
In
heavily
tune
involved.
with what's
I'm
going
yeah,
on.
I'm reading news. I'm
Yeah.
looking at stuff every day. But the general, I mean, there's 50 million PlayStation Plus. Yes, PlayStation Plus subscribers. The amount of people who are going to read this and just be like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. When in reality, they most likely don't have to do anything. But I think that the three-tier system is going to be very confusing for people. So we're going to go into it and I'm going to try to break it down and even maybe give people um, a recommendation for what type of
Which
gamer
tier?
they are, which tier they're going to be looking at subbing to.
Yeah.
So we'll get right into this. This is from the PlayStation blog, and so the first tier.
Also,
This
well,
oh, go ahead.
before we start, I just want to clarify that because this has been reported. There are a lot of media outlets reporting that this is the competitor to Game Pass, and Sony themselves said no, it's not. This is we can't do Game Pass. This is our just combining of services.
Yes. We're
This isn't.
I down below past this. I
Is
have
it there?
yeah, a couple. There's
Okay.
some quotes, and we're gonna get into that. Um, but yeah, that is a very interesting aspect to this. And Jim Ryan did an interview with GamesIndustry.biz where he kind of explained why, and he knew he had to address the
Yeah.
elephant in the room that is Game Pass. But yeah, so the first tier is going to be $9.99 a month. Your basic PS Plus. It's called PlayStation Plus Essential Benefit or PlayStation Plus Essential. And the benefits are provides the same benefits that PlayStation Plus members are currently getting today, such as 2 monthly downloadable games, exclusive discounts, cloud storage for save games, online multiplayer access. Uh, there are no changes to existing PlayStation Plus members in this tier. So if you're cool with what you have, you didn't subscribe to PS Now, you weren't interested in PS Now or anything like that, you're good to rock with the $9.99 per month or $60 per year. That's not changing for you at all. Also, a note for PlayStation 5 users, if you have or if you're not losing access to that PlayStation Plus collection that was for the PlayStation 5. That was one of the big questions that I had early on, which was it was answered. All of those games are still available to you um, if you have a PlayStation 5. Um, so the
So
next
what is
tier, go,
is
what?
this one a year? Isn't this one $60 a year?
Yes, it's the same.
Okay.
It's the exact same thing that just regular PS Plus is now. Next, we have PlayStation Plus Extra, which is $15 a month or $100 a year. And this provides everything in the essential tier, and then adds a catalog of up to 400 of the most enjoyable PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games, including blockbuster hits from our PlayStation Studios catalogs and third party partners. Games in the extra tier are all downloadable to play. So, when I first saw this, the first thing I thought of was the PlayStation Plus collection for PS5.
Yeah.
I thought they were just taking that and then throwing it into this tier, but it doesn't seem to be the case. It looks like they're going to be adding um, uh, more PlayStation 5 games. And this
Well,
actually, later in the article or in the blog, Jim Ryan says that at launch, we plan to include titles such as Death Stranding, God of War, Spider Man, or Marvel Spider Man, and Marvel Spider Man Miles Morales, Mortal Kombat 11, and Returnal.
yeah.
So that's going to be included into the $15 tier when that
This
comes out.
this feels like what I thought it was going to be from the jump, which is $15 a month. You get PlayStation Plus and PS Now. This feels like a combination of those. A lot of like some of the games that are on PS Now, some of the bigger ones like Red Dead 2, shit like that, are going to get thrown into this. Is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, except for in this tier, you get no like retro games. You get no earlier PlayStation 1, 2,
Yeah. 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 No. No.
3.
No.
You get none of that in this tier. It's just it what I'm assuming is going to be a similar collection to the PlayStation Plus collection for PS5. So you're going to get and maybe they're going to be adding more to this like as time goes on. I would assume they'd have to because what's going to keep people
Yeah.
subscribed. um
They'll
and then
probably
the
filter out and stuff like that.
yeah, The last tier is PlayStation Plus Premium, which provides all benefits of the first two tiers, adds up to 340 additional games, including PlayStation 3 games that are only available for streaming, a catalog of beloved classic games available in both streaming and download options from the original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP generations, and offers cloud streaming access for original PlayStation, PS2, PSP, and PS4 games offered in the extra and premium tier markets, where PlayStation Now is currently available, and customers can stream games using PS4 and PS5 consoles and PC. And then the last thing they offer is limited time game trials will also be offered in this tier so customers can try select games before they buy. So, I think what most gamers should sub to is the first tier. If you're cool with what you have now and you're not interested in, you're picking what games you want to play, you're playing Call of Duty, you're playing Warzone, you're playing Fortnite, you're good to rock with the $10 or $60
Yeah.
a year. For people who are looking to get access to modern games, a library of modern games, then this I think the second one is going to be for people who are interested in AAA games that aren't like the most mainstream ones, but also you don't care about retro games. You don't, and I think that is you and kind of me. Like every once in a while you and I will want to go back and play a certain game. Um but we're not just searching through old retro games
Well,
to find something that we like. You know what I'm saying?
here's the thing that I was thinking. If I buy, because I'm probably getting second tier, but I will get third tier under one single specific condition. If in those oh wait, yeah, PlayStation 1. In those retro games, that somewhere there is Legend of Dragoon. Legend of Dragoon is there. I will do it for at least a month
I
and then
mean,
be back.
really.
But
Oh, and then the PlayStation Plus Premium is $120 a year.
yeah,
So that really
isn't bad.
annually shrinks that down to what you'd be paying if you paid
$10 a month.
for essential option monthly. If you just
Yep.
paid for that up front, you're getting the highest tier for the year,
Yeah.
which is really cool. So yeah, I think the premium option is going to be very few people. Um, Now that depends on the games that they're offering. Because if it's just the games they have in PlayStation Now, I, there's too many obscure, just like throwaway titles in PlayStation Now that no one's interested in playing. So
I think it's going to be the best of the best from PS1, PS2, PSP, and PS3.
okay, so the question that I have is, without obviously we're not getting day one PlayStation Studio games. This is not a competitor to
Yeah.
Game Pass,
That's
obviously.
yeah.
Without that, you can't use that as an option. What does this service need to offer you that would make it worth the premium price of $18 a month or $120 a year?
I just told you.
That's all they have to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah, that is not going to be enough for me. The thing is, so what I think they need to do is, first of all, like I just kind of hinted at, they need to offer real essential game, like the essential classic games. That you need to give
Yeah.
us games that we actually played when we were younger, or you know, whoever owned PlayStation 1, who you need to give us games that we actually want to play. Essential games that actually celebrate the history of PlayStation. We're talking.
This is
Oh, go ahead.
it's gonna have the Gran Turismo, 1 through whatever it is now. I don't know because I don't fucking play them. It's gonna have the Jack and Daxter collection. It's gonna have the Crash Bandicoot collection. It's gonna have Spyro. It's gonna have fucking hell, Sly Cooper. Like it's gonna have all those games. It
Those
has to.
games on PlayStation Now.
No, just for the highest tier, they're all gonna be there. There's no way they're not.
That's what I'm saying. They're not in PlayStation Now, so that's they need to
No.
have those. They
Yeah.
need. I mean, like for PlayStation Two, Kingdom Hearts one and two,
Oh yeah.
Sonic Heroes, Shadow the
No.
Hedgehog. Those are, I mean, those are just for me mostly, but they need to give us those games that we actually want to go back and play. We want to go back and experience. Like, give us the. I know they remade Tony Hawk one and two. Give us the original
Give
game.
us American Wasteland, Project 8.
Um, So that's the first thing is give us games that we actually care about. The second thing is I think they need to have way more games that are just there permanently. One of the biggest turnoffs for me personally is for PlayStation Now was looking at a game that's like this is coming between March 31st and May 12th, and that's the only time you have to play it. And like it might be a game that I'm was maybe interested in, but I'm in the middle of another game where I'm not going to be jumping into that game. There's been a lot of those games, and it's been like pretty rare, but there have been some like Marvel Spider-Man was only on PlayStation Now for a little bit. Then they put Horizon Zero Dawn only on there for a little bit. They need to have a set library that's there and that's baked in. Like that is
Yeah. That
permanently.
that I agree with.
I
Cuz like
get
I was
third parties being different, but yeah.
yeah, cuz I think when I played the trial of Elder Scrolls Online there. It was like once that was done, like once they stopped like was it that they stopped having it or was it either way. They take games off too quick, which has always been my biggest turn because I don't want to pay an extra however much a month for PS Now to play a game for a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I get the
And it's just
business,
not worth it.
I get the mindset behind that where it's like, oh, if you're playing this game for a month, we take it off. Now you got to buy it.
Yeah.
But that's just shitty. That's I mean, you're now we're paying a premium price for this now. This is
And that's I think these games are staying for that reason. I also think that's why they're offering demos of like exclusives.
yeah. So they the games that they're adding, the other thing that they definitely need to do is continuously add to this thing like a Game Pass
Yeah.
does. So like the obviously this they have said this is not a Game Pass competitor, but the pricing you can't help but draw the comparisons because the highest tier is now paying more than Game Pass Ultimate monthly.
Yeah.
There's no annual option for Game Pass Ultimate, which gives PlayStation an advantage. It is very obvious that PlayStation is pushing people to pay
For the
annually.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
man, yeah, that's obvious.
but you need to be adding to this library almost monthly. And I'm not saying you need to add some huge title every month, but you, and I'm not saying you need to even do day one necessarily, but like a game like Forspoken, having a game launch like that day one on the service, something third working with third parties to get a lot of these games in, even if it's not day one, like a Guardians of the Galaxy type deal where that came out in October and now launched in March on Game Pass. We need to have a lot more of those style where it's this game's launching now, and then 6 months later, 8
That
months later.
I genuinely think it'll be the games that didn't sell well. So like say Forspoken doesn't sell well, I think 6 month 3 to 6 months later, that'll be uh on the service. But you also have to remember that PlayStation's big thing has always been like we can't make money uh without selling your games. Whereas
Mm.
like Game Pass is okay with losing money yearly. It's it's sustainable but not profitable. Is the way they describe it. They're taking a net loss every year.
For now,
But like
yeah, they're banking on the
they can
fact that they're gonna get to a point where they're not.
yeah, but I mean you need so many subscribers to it to get to that point. And it's like that's they're okay with that because Microsoft generates so much money that like it's whatever, it's pocket change to
Right.
them. Whereas Sony can't afford to do that.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy actually sold pretty well. It just didn't.
I
Square
it
Enix
was
thought that they were going to have Spider-Man, where it's going to sell 20 plus million units.
yeah,
It sold. The last time it was recorded was in November, and it was 4.5 million units, which is
not bad.
it's not bad.
It was a
I
game of the
think it,
year contender, so I realized it was like not the best example to use.
but that is kind of the what I'm saying is we need to
Yeah,
get a lot more of those style games included, and also for sure Destiny expansions need to be included in this thing day one.
that would be
um
nice. That'd
right,
be a reason to get back into it. I
yeah,
think Ghostwire Tokyo will be on it.
that I don't think so. I don't think so, just because that's a Bethesda game. And so I don't think Xbox is looking to make any more deals with PlayStation. I think the once this if this is actually, I think, the last Bethesda game coming to PlayStation, and then I think everything. I mean, Ghostwire is going to be on Game Pass next year, and then we're going to be done with Bethesda games on PlayStation. Um, all right,
RIP.
so we're going to talk a little bit about the gamesindustry.biz interview with Jim Ryan. This was just a quote. I'm just gonna read through some of this, and we'll kind of talk about it. Jim Ryan says, "We feel like we are in a good, virtuous cycle with the studios," explains Jim Ryan, "where the investment delivers success, which enables yet more investment, which delivers yet more success, which delivers yet more success. We like that cycle, and we think our gamers like that cycle." He continues, "In terms of putting our own games into this service or any of our services upon their release, as you well know, this is not a road that we've gone down in the past, and it's not a road we are going to go down in the new service. We feel if we were to do that with the games that we make at PlayStation Studios, that virtuous cycle will be broken. The level of investment we need to make in our studios would not be possible, and we think that the knock-on effect of on the quality of games that we make would not be something that gamers want."
Yeah.
What do you take from this?
Uh, if they do day ones, they're not going to make enough money to make good games. That's basically what I think he's trying to say. Is like we cannot. This is a business. We need to remain profitable. We can't remain profitable if we give you our day one exclusives. That's just not. We can't do that. So we need you to buy our games so that we can keep making our games.
So Phil Spencer has said in defense of Game Pass that despite Game Pass, like games being day one on Game Pass, it has not stopped people from on Xbox from buying games. I I think the issue is that Game Pass has been so far. It's been obviously 2021. The end of 2021 at least was really solid, but outside of that, it's all promises waiting to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
We
Not to mention, I not to cut you off, but Xbox exclusives aren't nearly as good as PlayStation exclusives. I mean, we can be honest about that.
obviously that's like preferential, but you and I both share that opinion that I think
I think
the
even Xbox fanboys will admit that, like, because they're all banking on like what is Starfield,
yeah.
like the games that haven't come yet, because they know that like so far Sony has dominated in exclusives.
Yeah, so like actually like and Metacritic is everything, and I think it's really funny. I really genuinely like. I prefer PlayStation first party games, but I obviously love Xbox. I fucking chill for Game Pass every week.
Yeah, we're not getting paid for it either.
The um shit. What was I? Where was I going with that? Oh, so Metacritic. The 2021 Metacritic scores for Microsoft Studios games, which includes Deathloop, even though it was PlayStation, it was higher than PlayStation's. The thing was that
But you
included
also have to
games like
look at
Flight Simulator,
yeah,
and then the fact that Deathloop was only on PlayStation, though you couldn't even play it on Xbox. But the
and if you
studios
look,
are
there are
building
so
in quality.
games like Gran Turismo 7 got bad reviews, not just from PlayStation fans, but Xbox fans bombed it. Horizon was the same thing. Xbox fans bombed it. That's why I don't
Oh,
like
that's not
the.
the Metacritic scores were from the critic scores, not the user scores.
Yeah, I also don't give a shit about them. I've said that
Well,
before. Even
yeah.
I think their
Well,
Elden Ring scores are fucking jacked up more than they should have been,
the funny
even if
thing
it's a good
was
game.
that when PlayStation in the PS4 era, they were obviously all their fucking exclusives were in like the high 80s and 90s, and
Yeah,
Xbox, a lot of those the gamers were, well, Metacritic doesn't matter, but now all of a sudden it matters. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, at the end of the day, Metacritic really doesn't fucking matter. I think sales. I mean, sales don't matter to me. The only time they matter is when they enable people to make more games, and it's just my preference. I prefer PlayStation Studio games. It's PlayStation 5 is like my console of choice. Um, but yes, the way that they do business, where and this where you're talking where PlayStation, you think you're saying like PlayStation Studio games are better than Xbox or Microsoft Studios. What I will say is, like, although that is an opinion, I think that is when you look at um, the mascot platformers, for example, you had Ratchet and Clank versus Psychonauts 2 last year.
Yeah.
PlayStation Studios, the budget for Ratchet and Clank was a lot higher than Psychonauts 2. The quality, I mean, we both loved both games a lot. Like,
Yeah.
it was in our game of the year contenders. They were both there. But regardless, the experience of PlayStation Studio games are, you are getting the highest end technology, um the just the big budget, like the studio quality is just a lot higher. That at the end of the day doesn't always translate to better games, but for PlayStation, more often than not, it does. Um,
It's user experience. Like it is so Ratchet and Clank is so immersive. If you put in, especially if like you play with headphones, right?
yes,
You have the dual sense giving you feedback throughout the entire game. You have the surround sound basically from the headphones. The the visuals are leagues above
top notch.
everything else.
Yeah,
Like it is just better. And it's like
yeah,
I would rather Sony put their money into that. I'd rather them release games, have us pay for them, have those games sell well so they can reinvest that money into the other games that are coming next
right.
to make them that same quality.
Yeah. So what Jim Ryan is saying, you're basically confirming that as a consumer, that that's what you
Yeah.
would prefer. Because the last thing that I would want really is, and I'm not saying that this is what Game Pass is. We just don't know yet. Game Pass has been around for a couple years, and I will mention that Jim Ryan in the same interview says this is just for right now. Things change. We all know in this industry things change. I'm not, and Game Pass when it launched did not have day one releases. It didn't. I think it was in
Yeah.
2017 is when it launched. It did not have day one. So who knows what it's going to look like? Maybe Jim Ryan. Maybe after Game Pass is they show, okay, Halo or Starfield. It was day one on Game Pass, but it also sold 20 million copies because people who love the game still bought it. Then maybe PlayStation looks at this and says, okay, if we put these games on our services on day one, that isn't necessarily stopping people from buying it, but I think it's mostly just PlayStation stepping back and they're watching Xbox and they're saying, okay, you guys got the money to fuck this up. If we fuck this up, that's
We're
gonna
done.
cripple us. Yeah, we are, like,
Yeah.
we're shutting studios down at that point. So PlayStation, this whole announcement was just almost like taking PS Now, adding value into PlayStation Plus, and just like modifying their services. Isn't They're not offering anything crazy big
No.
necessarily for right now, at least that we know of. And when we get closer,
Well,
this is launching in June, by the way. I didn't even fucking mention that. This is launching in June. So as we get closer, we're going to get announcements on what games are going to be available. So then we'll see what we're really dealing with here. But for right now, it's more just
the biggest
PlayStation.
thing is that they're adding PS1, PS2, PSP games. That's essentially like that's the highest tier, but like that's essentially the biggest part because that's what everyone's been asking for.
Well, we've had PS2 games on PS Now. Um,
Well, yeah, but it's I mean PlayStation 1 and PSP we haven't.
right.
And like those are some
That's
good
the
fucking games.
PSP. Um, we need to get every Ratchet and Clank game on this service. Every single
Oh,
fucking one.
almost guaranteed it's happening.
Well, I don't think it is, but if it is, if they're really serious about their studios and really, celebrating their history, they need to have that. They need to have games like that. They need to have every God. I mean, they already have God of War on PS Now, but this is what we're
Every God
talking about.
That's what I'm saying though. Every God of War, every Ratchet and Clank, every Spider-Man game, I think all of them will all be on here eventually.
Yeah. Hey, Returnal isn't even a year old yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be a year old by the time it's on the service. Are we looking at a world where 8 months to a year after games come out, they're being put on the service?
Yes. Unless they're still selling huge, yes.
Well, that's so. I was thinking of like Ghost of Tsushima. That obviously had a director's cut, so it's going to be a little weird with the games that have director's cuts. Like Last of Us Part Two is inevitably going to be getting it, I think. Um, I I wonder what this is going to look like. I wonder if it's going to be a case by case with games, or if it's going to be a we are just for sure between 8 and 12 months after these games come out from our studios, it's going to be put on the service. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting to see. I'm excited because regardless of what they do, um, like PlayStation, I was never going. They didn't offer a annual subscription to PS Now. It was always $10 a month, I believe, and it was never something for me that I just I some of the games on there that I wanted to try, but I'm not doubling up. It was like you're paying ten
Exactly.
dollars for plus, and then I'm not paying $20 a month for this with what they were offering at least. $120 a year is not bad. I'm going
No.
to sub to that straight up, just because the differential between the or the what is it, the extra and the premium is $20. What is that, um
That's the Legend of Dragoon.
yeah. um but yeah, so I'm gonna be subbing to the highest tier, and um yes, I just think that this is a way of them adding value to their services. I think the tier service is going to confuse a lot of people. I think it's going to fuck with a lot
Yeah.
of people, and it's going to turn people off to the whole thing.
I think it's gonna be
Um,
funny.
like when like parents are one of the guys at work. He's an older dad, and he's asking me to explain the difference between all the Xboxes and then the difference
Oh,
between the
no.
PlayStations. And after I and I try to do it in a very simple way, the look on his face, he's just like, "So what one do I get?"
Yep. That's all they're really looking for.
Yeah. Um yeah, it's it's going to be when this launch, I feel like it's going to be pretty rocky, just because of the three tiers and for people to kind of understand. And once and I guess what I'm saying is most people are dumb, and they're gonna look at this and just you know they're not gonna have any idea what to fucking do.
Gamers are fucking stupid and they can't read.
It's not just it's just people like like human beings are just not
Yeah. No,
that
I get you.
our base level are not meant to fucking, I don't know. Um all right, so yeah, like we said, we don't really know 100% what they're going to offer, but this is just like early thoughts on this. The only other news that we were going to touch on is Breath of the Wild got delayed. Breath of the Wild
Oh,
2, the
hang on.
sequel to Breath
Hang
of
on,
the
hang on, hang
Wild.
on. Hang on.
Yeah, this was
Keep telling the
posted.
story.
This was posted on the same day, I believe, as the PlayStation Plus. Um, and it was like cool, man. Like PlayStation, like is getting a new service. They're adding stuff. This is really cool, man. And then I was hit with this news, and the depression that I went through that day, just down astronomically bad, in a world of pain. If you played something, it didn't come through. Um,
Please.
it's not coming.
No!
It's not coming through.
Fuck!
Um, yeah. So really all I have to say about this is, obviously I want the game to be perfect when it comes out, and if that's what it takes, sure. I was so excited. I'm still so excited to play this. Um, I'm now getting to the age, and my wife and I have been together for 4 years, and the thought and the conversations about children
Oh no, they're
are
coming.
coming up. I'm not having a kid until this game comes out. I'm not letting some little fucking brat, little punk ass bitch baby take any time away from this game. So when I
I
tell
can't
you
wait. I cannot wait until Breath of the Wild 3 comes out and you have a kid and I show your kid this
that,
clip.
yeah, yeah. So that's gonna be a whole nother thing. But I I'm not having a child until I can play this game. I'm not giving anyone else attention. It is just I'm putting as much time and as much love and affection into this game, playing this game.
So I'm telling Lauren to go sleep in a hotel. I want to be alone with this game.
So it, it's really funny because I've been like joking, like in my head like my mom wants me to have kids so bad, and I'm like, and I'm not actually telling her that, like I'm gonna be putting $200 in this game at least. So in my head I'm like, I can't even have the conversation about kids until this game comes out. Until
That's
I'm
fair.
until I play through this game and I give everything that I have into this game, then I can start having the conversation. And I'm not even like let's get pregnant and like while the game's like, no, I can't have Lauren asking me to go to McDonald's at midnight when I'm playing Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Uh,
Can't happen.
no, no, none of that. This is undivided attention time, and so I just hope that Nintendo realizes what they're doing. They're putting my life on hold. Um, so maybe think before you go delaying shit all the time.
For the record, I really have to piss, so we will have to wrap up soon.
Yeah,
But
we're done. This is
for
this is a
for the
whole bunch of
record,
bullshit.
uh, I was playing the recorder version of the Titanic song, and I'm really upset that it wasn't coming through.
um, I really hate that thing so much. Especially the one
You're
that's
welcome.
like distorted and like all fucked
That's what
up.
it was.
I hate it. All right, yeah. So that was all we were gonna touch on today. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Like we said, Tiny Tina's Wonderland gameplay is up on YouTube. It's up on the same channel you're watching, so you probably already saw this. Or if you're listening on a podcast service, go check it out. Like, sub, share with a friend. That'd be greatly appreciated. But yeah, until next time, stay horny, stay hydrated. Peace.